Good evening, everybody. Today is February 28th of 2024. It is exactly 5:15 p.m. This is the City of LaPorte Redevelopment Commission meeting. I will call the meeting to order. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Got it? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Frankie. And Junior. Roll call. I myself, Brian Chalik, is present. J.T. McDermott is present. Jenna Francisconi is present. Absent is Damon Gassaway and Betsy Parkinson. We do have a quorum. Public comment. I'm going to open public comment at 5:16 p.m. Anybody have anything to say to us? Amanda? No. Bert? Nothing. Mr. Frankie? Nothing. Roscoe? Closing public comment at 5:16 p.m. I'm not going to ask you. You don't have much to say, do you?
I don't.
No. Minutes. January 31st, 2024 regular meeting and a special meeting on 9/18 of 23.
You just forgot to get those approved at the October meeting, so we just need to approve those.
Wondering what that was about.
Yeah.
Everybody have time to look at the minutes? Additions, corrections, deletions?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 31st, 2024 regular meeting and the September 18th, 2023 special meeting.
Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Motion and a second, no discussion, for further discussion. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Claims, 2024, February 28th claim docket. That's a real jewel. Do I have a chance to look at that?
Yep.
Any questions?
Nope. I'll make a motion to approve the February 28th, 2024 claim docket.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0. Old business, we have no old business. We have a lot of new business. Approval of the resolution concerning the transfer of real estate from the City of LaPorte to the City of LaPorte Redevelopment Commission. Is that you? You want that?
Andy, is it in here?
Go ahead.
This relates to the transfer of the, looking for the resolution, here it is. The transfer of the property on Pine Lake Avenue from the city to the Redevelopment Commission. The city's already approved the transfer, and by statute, the Redevelopment Commission needs to adopt a similar resolution agreeing to accept it. So that's the nature of
Basically
this.
it.
Yeah, that's the resolution.
Any questions for Mr. Hagenow? It's just transferring the property from the City of LaPorte to LaPorte Redevelopment Commission.
Correct.
City of LaPorte.
Correct. For no
150
cost.
Pine Lake Avenue.
150 Pine Lake Avenue.
Correct.
This is the Don George.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for the approval of resolution concerning the transfer of real estate from the City of LaPorte to the City of LaPorte Redevelopment Commission.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0. B, the opening of the bids for the public offering of the former Don George property, 150 Pine Lake Avenue. I believe it leads to you.
Yes, so first I have the affidavit of proof of publication that this was published on February 16th and February 23rd of 2024, offering this property for public bid. So I want to make sure that's part of the record. And then we received one bid for the property. So it's a bid from CMG Retail Development LLC. amount of the purchase price is $40,000 even. And we did receive the proper bid form and non-collusion affidavit. I don't know if you want to look at this, Matt, and verify. Along with a purchase agreement, a proposed purchase agreement. So yeah, the bid amount, $40,000. And that does meet the minimum bid necessary for the property based on appraisal. So it looks like everything is in order. And I think based on that, Mr. Cook and I would recommend acceptance of the bids, or I'm sorry, the bid.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion
So a motion for the.
to accept the bid?
I will make a motion to accept the bid from CMG Retail Development for $40,000 for the 150 Pine Lake Avenue property.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0.
Okay.
So now we own it. Correct?
You will tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. Approval of engagement letter with Baker Tilly for ongoing TIF assistance.
Yes, this is our engagement letter, annual engagement letter with Baker Tilly for a variety of tax increment financing related matters, helping us with filing our annual report, helping us with reviews of financial incentive packages that we consider, development agreements, the financials related to development agreements, all the different things that services were provided by Baker Tilly on an annual basis. Then I think we would all agree that they provide us with a great service, based on our past experience. So I would recommend approval of the engagement letter.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
So any questions you have, we'll try to answer as best we can.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion for the approval of engagement letter with Baker Tilly for ongoing TIF assistance.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0.
Okay.
Approval of improvements for the quiet zone improvements at Weller Avenue and Orchard Avenue.
So previously, the Redevelopment Commission approved improvements at Pulaski and Boston and Madison Streets related to the quiet zone improvements. Since that time, we've been notified by the Federal Railroad Administration that it's necessary to make some additional improvements at Weller Avenue and Orchard Avenue. There have been some complicated accidents at those intersections, and we want to make sure that we can retain our status for the quiet zone for the city. So it's necessary to make those additional improvements. We did send out a request for quotes to 3 different companies, and it also should be on the record that we sent the same quote request to these 3 companies as well. Quick Curb, Uniline, and Global Industrial, and the only company that sent in a bid, sent in a quote after that request was Quick Curb Incorporated, which we have worked with, and then we've also received the estimate for. So it's for a total estimate of materials related to the curbing and the flexible bollards at the railroad crossings that you've seen like at the other intersections. So it's exactly the same improvements that you see at Madison and Boston and Pulaski. For those 2 intersections, for those 2 crossings, I should say, the estimated total of that is $18,768.75.
What about the additional 6,000?
These are, I'm sorry, that was the invoice. That was a separate invoice. So the amount you request, I accidentally attached the invoice for a different,
These 2 aren't together?
no, it's just the $18,768.
Does this mean anything?
Not that I'm aware of. Let's see.
The December's.
Yeah, I think this is for the previous crossing. I apologize, it just got attached. So for these improvements, it's a total of $18,768.75.
What about the labor to
Is it the
install
light
that.
green ink?
We're doing that, and you,
Which one?
we're doing that in-house, and you previously approved the maintenance of
Okay.
traffic necessary for those locations. So
That 18,768.75 plus whatever traffic problem we have.
if there is, we would have an additional approval for those. So,
So just get rid of that second bid, 6,000, whatever, that they gave you. Or you
that's
gave
an
you.
invoice, yeah, that's not the estimate. That got attached mistakenly, sorry.
So
So I'm just asking
the
you for
the motions should be for the 18,000.
18,768.75, yep.
Do I have a motion?
Yes. I will make a motion for approval of improvements for quiet zone improvements at Weller Avenue and Orchard Avenue for a total of $18,768.65. 75 cents? $18,768.75.
Yep.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0.
Okay.
Other business, we have a couple little other business that's not on here, but the assignment of assumption of first amended and restated purchase and sale agreement. Mr. Hagenow, would you like to explain that?
Yes, sir. So this morning I was presented with a proposed assignment related to the purchase of the acreage in Newport Landing for the development of a dentist office that's under contract with Dr. Zhang, you'll recall. The due diligence period has expired. She's ready to move to close. She's established a new entity to hold title to that property. So this document, this proposed assignment that has been presented is simply transferring the rights under the purchase agreement from herself personally to that entity, which I've confirmed she does own. It is her entity. It's not anybody different. So it's a requirement from her lender, and so there's really, it's pretty straightforward. I'm happy to answer any questions, but there's no change to any of the terms other than it's going to be in the name of her company as opposed to herself personally.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
It
Simple,
is,
easy.
yeah, pretty
So I'll
straightforward.
need a motion for that.
Motion for the approval of the transfer,
Approval of the assignment and assumption agreement.
approval of the assignment and assumption agreement.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0.
While we're on it, and before you
Sure.
go on, I can report to you that closing is likely to be next week on that.
Which is a
Great.
good thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
That means you put shovels in the ground.
correct.
The last thing we have is we are going to discuss about the professional services for the project management of the strategic incentives. Tina Rogers. Rogers?
Rogers.
Mr.
So the last thing you have in your packets is a proposal from Carner Blue. Tina Rogers is the president of Carner Blue. As you recall, she has provided us services in the form of grant assistance for the Ready Grant recently, and the ongoing assistance with regard to the EDA grant that the city is pursuing. And we're very happy with the performance, her performance on those two items. The mayor would like to request that the Redevelopment Commission consider covering a portion of the costs of bringing her on for the purpose of the items listed under the tasks, which would include project management, setting up a project tracking, and central location for repository for information related to projects, and then coordination between departments, as well as perhaps continuing to seek additional grant opportunities for the city for projects. So the total cost of that would be for not to exceed $4,250 a month for up to 20 hours of service, including incidentals, and then her hourly rate. So this is just for discussion purposes tonight, and we'll be requesting the Redevelopment Commission consider funding a portion of that at the next meeting. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about that.
I love grants.
I love grants too.
Yeah, we've got so many projects going that we felt it was,
She would be a good
it's
asset.
necessary for us to have a more central, like I said, repository for information, to know who the project managers are for each project, and to facilitate, communication about some of the projects, to make sure that the various departments and agencies involved are communicating properly and things like that, and also seeking additional opportunities for us.
Very good. No other discussion? Correct? How about that? Number 9, or number 10, who wants to be number 10?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 3-0. We are adjourned.